listen to me. I need you to wake up. I need you to hear me loud and clear, because this is where people get it wrong. You think kindness is a virtue, and it is. You think being good to people is the right thing to do, and it is. But what happens when that kindness is being used against you? What happens when the very thing that makes you great, your compassion, your patience, your heart, is being exploited by someone who has no intention of ever giving that back to you? You see, some people don't see kindness as a strength. They see it as a weakness. They see it as a tool, a weapon, something they can use to manipulate, to twist, to control. And you, being the person you are, you keep giving, you keep forgiving, you keep thinking, if I just love them enough, if I just show them enough grace, maybe they'll change. But they won't. They won't, because they don't want to. You're dealing with a narcissism. Let me tell you something. They are not looking for love. They are not looking for understanding. They are looking for power. They are looking for control. And every time you show up with kindness, every time you extend grace, they see it as an opportunity. They see it as proof that they can keep treating you however they want. And you will always be there, always ready to absorb their poison, always ready to take the hit. How many times have you sat there, drained, exhausted, questioning yourself, wondering what you did wrong? How many times have you replayed conversations, blaming yourself for things you didn't even do? That's what they want. They want you doubting yourself. They want you so tangled in their web that you can't even see straight. Because if you're busy blaming yourself, you'll never see them for who they really are. Let me make this clear. Kindness does not mean allowing yourself to be disrespected. Kindness does not mean tolerating abuse. Being a good person does not mean sacrificing yourself for someone who only takes and never gives. That is not kindness. That is self-destruction. You have got to stop thinking that if you just endure a little longer, if you just love them a little harder, something will change. No, the only thing that's going to change is you. You're going to get weaker. You're going to lose yourself. You're going to wake up one day and realize that the person you used to be, the person who was full of life, full of energy, full of dreams, that person is gone. And for what? For someone who never cared? For someone who only took advantage of your love? You've got to stop giving people unlimited access to your heart when they have done nothing to earn it. Listen to me. Some people are not in your life because they love you. Some people are in your life because they love what they can take from you. And the moment you stop giving, they will show you who they really are. The moment you say, no, I will not be treated this way, watch how fast their so-called love disappears. Because it was never love in the first place. It was never about you. It was about what they could gain. So what are you going to do? Keep playing their game, keep hoping they'll change, keep excusing their behavior, letting them walk all over you, letting them drain you until there's nothing left? Or are you going to stand up and say enough? Are you going to take back your power? Are you going to stop being kind to someone who has no intention of being kind to you? Because I promise you, the day you stop allowing a narcissist to use your kindness against you is the day you start winning. The day you set boundaries, the day you say, I deserve better, the day you choose yourself, that's the day you break free. You don't owe them your kindness. You don't owe them your energy. You don't owe them a single second of your time. And if they can't handle that, if they can't respect that, then that just proves everything I've been telling you is time. No more second chances. No more justifications. No more wasting your goodness on someone who doesn't even see your value. Walk away and don't look back. Listen to me. If you don't set boundaries, people will run all over you. If you don't draw the line, people will take advantage of your time, your energy, your kindness, and your love. And I'm not talking about strangers. I'm talking about the people closest to you, the ones you trust, the ones who say they care about you. Because let me tell you something. Just because someone's in your life doesn't mean they have the right to disrespect you. Just because someone says they love you doesn't mean they get to drain you. You've got to understand this. A narcissist doesn't respect kindness. They see it as an opportunity. They see it as a way in. You keep giving, you keep forgiving, and they keep taking. They keep pushing, and before you know it, you're so deep in their world, so wrapped up in their chaos, that you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You're walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing, afraid to set them off. And that's exactly where they want you. They want you to feel small. They want you to question yourself. But I'm here to tell you that stops today. That stops right now. If you don't set boundaries, you will lose yourself. You will wake up one day and realize that you've been living someone else's life, following someone else's rules, bending over backwards to make sure they're happy while you're suffering in silence. And for what? So they won't get mad? So they won't leave? Let them leave. Let them be mad. Because your peace is more important than their opinion of you. You got to respect yourself enough to say, no, I will not allow this. You've got to love yourself enough to say, I deserve better. And I know what you're thinking, but if I set boundaries, they'll think I'm selfish. They'll think I don't care. Let them think whatever they want. You are not responsible for how they react to your boundaries. You are responsible for protecting yourself, for protecting your mind, for protecting your heart. And here's the truth. People who genuinely love and respect you will honor your boundaries. They won't trip you. They won't make you feel bad for standing up for yourself. But a narcissist, they'll lose their mind. They'll tell you that you're overreacting. They'll make you feel like you're the problem. They'll say, you've changed. Yes, that's the point. You are changing. You are growing. You are refusing to be a doormat anymore. You cannot fix a narcissist. You cannot love them into respecting you. The only thing you can do is make a decision. Are you going to keep letting them use you, or are you going to take your power back? Because every time you allow them to cross a line, every time you let something slide, you're teaching them that it's okay. And the longer you allow it, the harder it will be to break free. Some of you need to hear this today. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to you. You don't owe anyone a front row seat to your life just because they've been around for a long time. If they can't respect your boundaries, they don't belong in your space, period. I don't care if it's your friend, your boss, your partner, or even family. If someone is constantly taking from you, draining you, manipulating you, you need to create distance. Because the right people, the real ones, will love you without condition. They will respect you without manipulation. They will hear your no and not take it personally. So what are you going to do? Keep letting people treat you however they want? Keep waiting for them to change? Keep hoping that one day they'll wake up and realize how much you've done for them? No, that's not how this works. Change starts with you. Respect starts with you. The moment you set that boundary, the moment you say, I will not tolerate this anymore, is the moment you take your life back. And I promise you, the first time you set a real boundary, the first time you enforce it, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar. But that's because you've spent so much time putting other people first. But you push through that feeling and you stand your ground. Because the moment you do, the right people will stay and the wrong people will reveal themselves. And when that happens, don't be afraid. Don't chase them. Don't try to explain yourself. Let them go. Because anyone who cannot respect your boundaries does not deserve your presence. Listen to me. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is spending your life watching somebody else's. You're scrolling, you're comparing, you're measuring yourself up against people who ain't even running the same race as you. And you wonder why you feel like you're behind. You wonder why you feel like you're not doing enough. It's because you're looking at their progress instead of your own. You're distracted. You're focusing on the wrong thing. See, every time you compare yourself to somebody else, you rob yourself of your own potential. You take your eyes off your journey. You slow yourself down trying to match somebody else's pace when you don't even know where they're going. You don't know what they had to sacrifice. You don't know what they're struggling with behind closed doors. You see the highlight reel, but you don't see the full story. And the craziest part, they're not even thinking about you. They're not worried about what you're doing. So why are you wasting energy worrying about them? You got to stop looking left and right. You got to stop thinking, man, they're younger than me and they're already successful, or they started after me and they're ahead. That mindset is killing you. That mindset is keeping you from reaching your full potential. Because the moment you start focusing on somebody else's lane, you lose control of your own. You start doubting yourself. You start hesitating. And hesitation, that's the difference between winning and losing. That's the difference between success and failure. Let me tell you something. You are not in competition with anybody except the person you were yesterday. That's it. That's the only person you need to be better than. That's the only person you need to outwork, because when you start measuring your progress against your own growth, everything changes. You stop feeling like you're behind. You stop feeling like you're not good enough. You realize that as long as you're moving forward, as long as you're getting better, you're winning. But see, that takes discipline. That takes a different mindset, because the easy thing to do is to compare. The easy thing to do is to scroll and say, man, I wish I had what they had. But the strong move, the move that separates the great from the average, is keeping your head down and doing the work. It's waking up every day and saying, I don't care what anybody else is doing. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm focused on me. You ever notice how the most successful people are locked in? You ever notice how they don't have time to gossip? They don't have time to worry about what somebody else is doing because they're too busy winning. They're too busy chasing their own goals. And that's what you need to do. You need to be so locked in on your own journey that you don't even have time to notice what's going on around you. And let me tell you something else. The minute you stop comparing, the minute you stop focusing on everybody else, you free yourself. You free yourself from stress, from anxiety, from pressure that was never even real in the first place. Because half the time, the things you think you're behind on, they don't even matter. You think you need to be married by a certain age, making six figures by a certain age, living a certain way because you see everybody else doing it. But what if that's not even your path? What if you're meant to build something different? What if your success is coming at a different pace? You got to trust your process. You got to trust that what's meant for you is already yours, as long as you keep working for it. And listen, I know that's hard. I know it's tough when you feel like you're doing all the right things but not seeing the results yet. But that's the test. That's the moment where most people give up. That's the moment where people say, maybe it's not for me, and they quit. But you're different. You're built different, because instead of folding, instead of giving up, you double down. You remind yourself, I'm not running their race, I'm running mine. So today, I need you to shift your focus. I need you to stop looking at what everybody else is doing and start looking at what you need to do. Because when you focus on yourself, when you commit to being better than you were yesterday, your mind gets stronger. And when your mind is strong, nothing can stop you. Listen to me. Everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to win. But the difference between the ones who get it and the ones who don't, discipline. Not talent, not luck, not connections. It's discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the habits you build when nobody's watching. That's what separates the strong from the weak. That's what builds a mindset that can be broken. Most people think motivation is enough. They think if they watch the right video, read the right book, or hear the right word, they'll wake up every day ready to grind. But that's not how it works. Motivation fades, inspiration wears off, and when that happens, what do you have left? What's keeping you moving when you don't feel like? That's where discipline comes in. That's where the habits you've built day in and day out take over. Because when discipline is locked in, when it's a part of you, you don't have to think about it. You have to negotiate with yourself. You just do it. You got to get out of the mindset of waiting to feel like it. Feelings don't get results. Actions do. And the people who win, they don't let their feelings dictate their act. They wake up and do what needs to be done no matter how they feel. They don't skip workouts just because they're tired. They don't stop grinding just because nobody's clapping for them. They don't break their routine just because life got hard. They stay locked in. They stay disciplined. And that's why they win. You want to build a strong mind? You want to be unstoppable? Start with your habits. Start with what you do every single day. Because success isn't built in a day. It's built in the small decisions you make over and over again. It's built in the early mornings when you get up, even though your body's telling you to stay in bed. It's built in the late nights when you're still working, still pushing, still doing the little things that nobody else is willing to do. Let me tell you something. Discipline is freedom. A lot of people think structure, routines, and discipline are restricting. They think, I just want to do what I feel like doing. But what they don't realize is that when you live like that, you're not free. You're a slave to your emotions. You're a slave to distractions. You're a slave to whatever feels good in the moment, even if it's ruining your future. But when you have discipline, when you have habits that keep you locked in, you take control. You take control of your time. You take control of your focus. You take control of your life. The people who struggle the most, they don't have structure. They don't have a plan. They wake up and just go with the flow. And then they wonder why they never get anywhere. It's because they're letting life happen to them instead of making life work for them. But the ones who win, they have routines. They have non-negotiable. They don't waste time. They don't let distractions pull them away from their goals. They stay locked in. It's simple. If you don't control your habits will control you. If you don't take control of your discipline, life will discipline you in a way you don't like. Life will remind you real quick that you either put in the work or you get left behind. There's no in between. And listen, I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's tough. I know there are days when you don't feel like it. I know there are moments when you just want to take the easy route. But that's the test. That's the moment where you either break through or you break down. And the ones who make it, they push through. They don't let those feelings win. They stay committed to the process. So today, I need you to stop making excuses. I need you to stop waiting to feel like it. I need you to start building the discipline, the habits, the routines that will take you where you want to go. Because the stronger your habits, the stronger your mind. And when your mind is strong, nothing can stop you. Most people don't even realize they're holding themselves back. They think it's their circumstances. They think it's their past. They think it's the people around them. But the real reason they're not where they want to be, it's their mindset. It's the way they see themselves. It's the limits they've placed on what they think is possible. See, your mind is powerful. Your thoughts control everything. The way you think about yourself, the way you think about your future, the way you talk to yourself when nobody's around, that's what's shaping your reality. That's what's determining whether you break through or stay stuck. And the problem is most people don't even realize how negative, how limiting, how small their thinking really is. They say they want success, but deep down, they don't believe they deserve it. They say they want to level up, but in the back of their mind, they're telling themselves, I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not lucky enough. And as long as that's the story they're telling themselves, they'll never rise above it. You got to stop feeding yourself that nonsense. You got to stop letting fear and doubt run your life. Because let me tell you something. Your mind will believe whatever you tell it. If you keep saying, I can't do this, guess what? You won't. If you keep saying this is too hard, guess what? It'll always feel impossible. But if you start telling yourself, I got this, I'm built for this, I can handle anything that comes my way, then watch what happens. Your energy shifts. Your confidence grows. You stop hesitating and you start moving with purpose. The difference between people who win and people who don't, it's not talent, it's not luck, it's the way they think. It's the fact that when challenges come, they don't crumble. They don't start making excuses. They don't let doubt take over. They remind themselves, I was made for this. They tell themselves, no matter how hard it gets, I'm going to find a way. And because they believe it, because they live it, their actions follow. You ever notice how some people seem unstoppable? It's not that life isn't testing them. It's not that they don't face obstacles. It's that their mind is strong enough to push through. They don't sit around feeling sorry for themselves. They don't waste energy worrying about things they can't control. They stay focused. They keep their eyes on the vision. And that's why they win. But listen, this isn't something that happens overnight. You don't just wake up one day and suddenly have an unbreakable mindset. You got to train it. You got to work on it every single day. Just like you train your body in the gym, you got to train your mind. You got to feed it the right things. You got to cut off the negativity. You got to stop hanging around people who don't believe in you. You got to stop listening to the voices that tell you you're not enough. And most importantly, you got to stop talking to yourself like you're weak. Every single day, you got to remind yourself who you are. You got to wake up and say, I'm built different, I'm strong, I'm focused, I can handle anything. And at first, it might not feel real. At first, you might not believe it. But if you keep saying it, if you keep acting like it's true, eventually your mind will catch up. Eventually, that becomes who you are. And when that happens, when your mindset shifts, everything else shifts with it. Your work ethic gets stronger. Your discipline gets tighter. Your confidence goes through the roof. And suddenly, things that used to feel impossible don't even faze you anymore, because you know deep down that nothing can break you, nothing can stop you. So I need you to take control of your thoughts. I need you to stop playing small. I need you to stop doubting yourself and start moving like the person you were meant to be. Because the stronger your mind, the stronger your life. And when your mind is unshakable, nothing can stand in your way. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one thing: consistency. Not talent, not luck, not how many people believe in you. It's about how committed you are day in and day out. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's telling you good job. Because let me tell you something, success doesn't come to the person who does things right every now and then. It comes to the one who stays locked in no matter what. Most people start strong. Most people are excited in the beginning. They're motivated. They're fired up. They set goals. They make plans. But then life happens. Things get hard. They don't see results as fast as they expected. And instead of staying the course, they start making excuses. They slow down. They convince themselves it's not working. And before they even realize it, they quit. Not because they weren't capable, not because they didn't have what it takes, but because they weren't consistent enough to see it through. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you only show up when you feel like it, you'll never reach your potential. You can have the best plan, the best strategy, the best resources, but if you don't stay disciplined enough to execute it every single day, none of it matters. The people who win, they don't stop. They don't take shortcuts. They don't let distractions pull them off track. They wake up every day and put in the work, whether they feel like it or not. You got to understand, greatness isn't built on big, flashy moments. It's built in the little things. It's built in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the extra reps, in the extra hours, in the details that most people overlook. It's built when nobody's watching. It's built when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're wondering if it's even worth it, but you keep going anyway. That's what separates the elite from everybody else. That's what makes the difference. Most people think success is about making the right moves at the right time. No, success is about making the right moves all the time. Even when it feels like nothing is happening. Even when it feels like you're stuck. Even when it feels like you're not making progress. Because what you don't see is that every time you stay consistent, every time you show up, you're building something. You're getting stronger. You're getting sharper. You're developing the kind of mindset that can't be broken. And let me tell you something. When you become that person, when you become the kind of person who doesn't quit, who doesn't break, who doesn't make excuses, life has no choice but to give you what you worked for. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because consistency always wins. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually it pays off. Eventually, all that work you put in, all those sacrifices, all those moments when you kept pushing, it all comes back to you. But listen, you have to be willing to go all in. You have to be willing to commit, not just for a week, not just for a month, but for as long as it takes. No deadlines, no backup plans, just relentless consistency. That's how you make it. That's how you turn your dreams into reality. So I need you to stop looking for quick results. I need you to stop getting frustrated when things don't happen as fast as you want them to. I need you to stop stopping, because the only way you fail is if you quit. The only way you lose is if you give up on yourself. But if you stay locked in, if you stay consistent, if you refuse to stop, Nothing can stop you because the stronger your focus, the stronger your mind. And when your mind is strong, you become unstoppable.